I want to make friends. I want to talk about my feelings. I want to solve problems. I want to feel safe. I want to do well in school.
I want to help my community.
I want to prepare for my future.
I want to be a leader.
Second Step Social Emotional Learning Programs, empowered with skills for life.
I am a high school educator because I want to help students grow to their fullest potential.
I want to help students discover what success looks like for them and to help them build the confidence to get there.
I want to help them connect. It's far from easy, but I didn't become an educator because I thought it would be easy.
Second Step High School empowers all of my students with the social emotional skills that they need to become the people they want to become, in and out of the classroom, today and in the future, long after they leave these halls.
That's better than easy. Create a culture where everyone
Is most likely to succeed.
Hello, and welcome to the Second Step Educator of the Year Award Showcase. I'm Andrea Levenhill, Chief Executive Officer of Committee for Children. We're the makers of the Second Step Social Emotional Learning Curriculum. Ensuring the well-being of children is at the heart of our mission. Each year, 45,000 schools deliver our Second Step programs to over 20 million children. Guided by SEL educators and advocates, these students are developing the life skills they need to excel in school and beyond. Today, we are thrilled to celebrate our community of SEL champions and to spotlight some extraordinary educators who are making a positive impact in their schools or across their district. On behalf of Committee for Children, congratulations to our winners. Thank you for your continued commitment to children's success. Now I'll turn it over to LaShawna McBride to introduce this year's award honorees.
Thanks, Andrea, and hello, everybody. I'm LaShawna McBride, Chief of Staff at Committee for Children, and your host for this year's Second Step Educator of the Year Awards. Before we get going, I want to let you in on a little secret. Selecting our winners this year, it was hard. We received hundreds of nominations from passionate champions who shared stories about teachers and students and the remarkable impact Second Step programs have on academics, attendance, belonging, and well-being. Reviewing each of these submissions, it made our staff judges so proud of the work we do at Committee for Children. So thank you. Thank you for your partnership on this very important mission. Now, it's time to meet our award winners. With a deep commitment to inclusion and belonging for her Alaskan Native students, Counselor Natalie Jones led an initiative to transform a set of learning rules into a celebration of cultures and languages. Let's take a look at how she's using Second Step programs to connect and engage her entire community.
Hi, Natalie. It's really nice to meet you.
My name's Forrest.
My name is Natalie Jones. I work with Project Grad. We're a nonprofit that supports students' academic and social emotional success. We work in partnership with the Kenai Peninsula Borough School District. It is a very large school district, and we serve Nanawalek, Port Graham, Tabodna, and Susan B. English in Seldovia. Yeah, I think that one of the best lessons and skills that we have learned have been the rules for learning. So I had a wonderful collaboration for translating the rules for learning, and it was across multiple communities, was speaking with the local elders in those communities in order to get those translations done. We think it's important that students have this information, and that anytime that we can bring additional culture and language into the schools, I'm very, very passionate about that. And so that was really, really important that it was something that was being used every time that we were doing our lessons. And every lesson begins with those rules for learning and them speaking it in their Alaskan Native tongue. So in Suksten and Dena'ina, which is awesome. It's also in the language program. And so it's bleeding into other things, and the teachers might be using it, or the kids were just, they're putting their eyes up. And, it's that to me is when you have something that kind of sets your day and sets your lesson, and having those to be able to just do their magic right throughout the lesson. And all you have to do is and then you have somebody else doing this, and then you have somebody else doing this, and it just sets a really great foundation for starting to learn. So, it's really simple, but it's so great.
And what happens when a school community engages in work around this type of skill development?
I think the rules for learning really speak to the storytelling cultures of a lot of the communities that I'm serving, and to be a listener and to be a good storyteller are inherent parts of these cultures, because those skills have been there and been driven for eons. And so it's just a really neat way just to see that that's a weaving of the two. Be authentic, be who you are, and let whatever you are and your passions just lead the way, because you can fit in this curriculum wherever you need it.
Rebecca Keithley is a paraeducator in Washington State who began teaching Second Step programs to make sure every student felt supported and ready to learn. She's been setting a remarkable example for her district with her school's academic gains, reduced disruptions, and improved attendance. Let's hear more about how she's using SEL to create a positive school culture.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Keithley. I work in the Social and Emotional Center at Cowemans Middle School. I've been a paraeducator at Kelso School District for 8 years. Prior to that, I was in the U.S. Army. Grew up in a pretty rough home. So becoming an educator and running a social and emotional center was super close to home for me. I wanted to be able to be that person that kids need at school, because I know what that was like.
So you're in a fantastic position where you are doing amazing work. You're impacting students, you're impacting your school culture, your district culture, your community with the work that you're doing. What is one piece of advice you would give to other educators?
One piece of advice I'd give to other educators is to focus on relationships with students, and that through those relationships, you will be able to create a supportive classroom environment. We will talk to students often. I've created a Second Step survey for my students after Second Step lessons, where they feel like they have input, and they can tell me how they feel like the lessons have gone and what would make it more effective to them, and if it applies to them. They really get a kick out of that. So they like having a say in everything, and their reflections provide valuable insights to our program. We have students at the middle school level where I am. They fill out a social emotional self-perception survey, and they go through that, and we are able to use that data along with data from their teachers and their attendance and academics and disciplinary data to really pinpoint the skills they're lacking and provide the supports that they're needing. The two skills that I think are the most important and that we work on the most that I notice students are lacking are the self-regulation and empathy skills. And so for a student to be able to just regulate themselves to get through the day and to kind of have empathy for their friends and other people, and knowing like they don't know what's going on, but in the day-to-day lives of their friends when they're not with them. And those have really changed some of the students and their behaviors and actions, because they can think about, wait, I don't know what happened. He could have had a rough morning, or maybe, they were taking care of a kid, their sibling the night before, or their parents were fighting. So it's really opened up their eyes to learn about empathy and to be able to self-regulate.
2 important skills I think we all need. Adults, children, everyone needs those skills, regulation and empathy.
100%. Partnering when problem solving can create powerful impact. Principal Joy Hopkins and social worker Megan Palka are the dynamic duo from Illinois, sharing this year's award. Let's see how they've used Second Step curriculum to turn their school into a thriving, creative, and sought-after learning center.
My name's Amy Walker, and I'm the National Partnerships Manager at Committee for Children. I read your bio, what was submitted, and it's just such a great story. I think you guys.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure you're very proud of your work.
SEL has definitely affected Farragut. When we came, and I did ask my district. I said, if you're going to put me at Farragut, which was the worst school in the district, academically and behaviorally, please let me have Meg. Those kids are going to need tools. Because I came and I made some observations. They weren't allowed to be kids. There was no trust. So we knew that we needed to come in with a second step plan.
Do you want to talk for a minute about just how you think that the SEL work that you do with Second Step relates to the academic success that your school is having?
District has shouted us out a couple of times this year, especially because our academics are just getting better and are improving. And it's all because of the work that we've done. You have to work with kids to change behavior. They're suspending them, sending them home, putting them someplace else. That behavior is not going to be, they have to learn. The new kids always come in really tough and really not understanding what it means to regulate themselves. And I had a 4th grader come in and, he would just blow up. He was used to being suspended all the time. So he's like, I'm going home. I know. No, we're going to talk about this. We're going to figure this out together. How can we improve? And as a 5th grader this year, I've had one outburst from him. And he instantly took responsibility for it after he did it. And I really say it's because we worked with him and he learned to trust us and he learned to take responsibility.
Have you had any pushback from any families around SEL where they've seen any concern?
Not at all. It has been so nice about the family support that we've had. We've had parents come to us and they're like, thank you. I don't know how to teach my kids these things, and I'm always there to reassure them. I'm a social worker. I'm still learning these things. We just were not directly taught these skills. But now we are. So let's learn with our, student. Let's learn with our child by recognizing how much SEL has helped kids. It was a reminder, we need that too.
I mean, we've taken it so far as if we're having some kind of a competition, we like to reward the students, but what about our teachers? Mm-hmm. So they get to pick. Would you want to come to work late that day? Do you want a lunch? Do you want us to come in and teach your class for a half hour? Giving them those opportunities to breathe and take care of themselves.
If we can get to kids at a young age and help them know that feelings are okay, there's no such thing as a bad feeling. And that is what really drew me to Second Step is number one was that common language across all grade levels, and it just built upon it. So it was something that was really easy to give to the students, but then also we saw such that return because of the consistency. So not only, the SEL piece is important, but also the consistency and the repetition of it as well.
Kentucky kindergarten teacher Nikki Turner started applying Second Step fundamentals in a way that addressed the various needs of her students more holistically. Because her innovative pilot approach had such remarkable results on behavior and academic success, she's now mentoring other educators to launch a district-wide rollout. Let's hear about how she's amplifying her positive contributions as an SEL champion.
My name is Nikki Turner. I teach kindergarten at Jesmond Early Learning Village in Nicholasville, Kentucky. We have, I think this year, about 950 students, and that's between preschool and kindergarten. We have 23 kindergarten classrooms in our building, and those are full-day kindergarten. And then we have preschool, which is half-day, so they have 2 sessions of preschool, AM and PM. And we all teach Second Step in our classrooms. Since it's come into our classroom, SEL is now in every part of our day. It's, when we switch rotations, we may remember at your next stop, it's okay to make mistakes. We're going to try. Do teachers still love you if you make mistakes? And we incorporate it into every part of our day. And it's in reading, it's in science. So really tying it together, and every teacher teaching the same lesson at the same time. We can use the verbiage in the hallways when we see other classes. We can, we talk about, coming up is it's okay to feel sad. And so we can talk about things that make us sad, and we see each other really on a deeper level. For our kids seeing each other on a deeper level, like even though they're 5, they relate, and somebody can say, well, I was sad when my grandpa moved. And another child will say, well, I was sad when my grandpa moved. And so them finding that commonality and really seeing each other for more is so important. And it really changes your classroom environment. It changes my classroom management. It changes everything, because it just goes at such a deeper level, and the kids genuinely care about each other. And they see each other just so much more than they did before we had SEL in the classroom. You can tell the work you're doing with Second Step is effective when you see it, and you're going to see it. You're going to see the kids use the lessons and use, like I said, the self-talk for when you make mistakes, or the self-talk for when you feel sad. One particular kiddo of mine, and it was the self-talk aspect. It's probably been like 8 years ago, I had her, and her home life was rough, and she had no self-worth. And so every day we did self-talk every morning, affirmations. I am smart. I can try my best. I can do hard things. And by the end of the year, she would just say it without us prompting her. She would just go through it, and she believed it. It totally changed her. That by the end of the year, she was a different kid, because of she believed in herself when sometimes people don't believe in you at your home. She believed in herself. And that was my job, was to help her believe in herself. We're able to do that through using Second Step. And for me, it's important because it makes my job as a teacher that much more successful. It just changed a lot for our students, and we saw the need. So it's made a big impact for me as a teacher, but also my students.
All of these exceptional educators and their colleagues are guided by visionary district leaders. These advocates drive successful program implementation across their schools. They work tirelessly to improve outcomes for students and educators throughout their district. That's why this year we're introducing our District Innovator Award. This award honors an outstanding district champion for their unwavering leadership, for their positive district-wide impact, and for their ongoing advocacy for social-emotional learning. Let's meet this year's winner.
Hello, my name is Liz Doncaster. I'm the Director of Student Services for Somerville Public Schools. We are a inner-city school demographic with 4,800 students.
Tell me about how you came to your role. What led you to education, and what led you to become a district leader?
Growing up as a student, I had undiagnosed probably ADD and dyslexia. So back then there was no labels on anything. And there was no explicitly teaching social emotional skills. You would just, I just remember hearing, you should know that already. Why are you acting like this? You should know that already. And we didn't realize how much we really needed to teach students that maybe they weren't being taught at home, or they didn't have the family structure that could be taught at home. I always used to tell the kids, your brain is growing, and it's not going to be finished growing for a long time. So you have a lot to learn, and you're not a bad student for making a bad choice, but you just made a bad choice. And so we're going to teach you some explicit skills to help you make friends, to help you understand your feelings, to help you be able to handle big feelings so that you can make friends and be a part of community in the school, so that, unlike how I felt, you feel a sense of community and trust.
Do you have any stories from students or educators about that showcase the impact of social emotional learning and the Second Step programs have had, what they've had on your community?
So I have a bilingual teacher at our K-8 school. She's a 4th grade teacher. She has Second Step training and is using it and in Spanish, and also restorative justice training. I went to speak with her, and she said to me, last year, before I started teaching Second Step and doing restorative justice circles, I had on average of, I think she said 5 to 6 pretty, significant conduct referrals to usually the dean or the AP. And when I had spoken to her at this time, she said, since implementing Second Step, because she was one of my pilot classrooms, and restorative justice, she had conduct referrals had gone down to 1, if none. So for me, and she said, and then the atmosphere of the classroom is changing. And I know a teacher can relate to this, but at the end of the day, you think to yourself, did I teach today? Or did I just spend the whole day putting out fires? Did I even get to any curriculum? What am I doing? This job, So she started feeling more empowered as an educator, because she saw that these initiatives were empowering students to regulate their own selves and understand and create more positive interactions, peer interactions.
I'm very happy that you shared that story, because I feel like that's impacting student, teacher, and school community all in one example. And it makes me really happy that we're both here talking about it and doing the work that we're doing. So thank you for sharing.
Congratulations to Elizabeth Doncaster for her dedication to her district. We are so thrilled to celebrate this special distinction with our first District Leader honoree. It's leaders like you whose commitment to social emotional learning is helping today's learners build a better future. And now, as an encore, we present this special recap of all our award winners together.
I feel very passionately about supporting students and communities in any way that I can. And my students are generally wonderful helpers and caretakers for one another. And so when you see that in action in live time of helping one another, supporting each other, that's really just a beautiful thing.
It's always been near dear to my heart that a student needs to feel seen, heard, understood, feel a sense of community, a sense of trust and belonging. So we have to create that positive environment, and then we have to teach them how to be human.
The year before we came to this school, 42 students were diagnostically placed out of this building. 42 in 1 year. Across the 6 years that we've been here, we've only had to do that with 10 students. You have to work with kids to change behavior. They're suspending them, sending them home, putting them someplace else. They have to learn.
I had a student come in that was having a stressful time in class and responded in an inappropriate way. And whenever he came in, he was able to just have a few minutes to kind of gather his thoughts and get himself regulated.
My master's in 2013 was actually on the importance of social emotional learning. So I actually did a program study of Second Step. And so from then on, because I was able to come in and watch classrooms do it, and then I saw the data, I totally, it's part of our life now. And we do tell parents, part of my job is to make sure your child loves school. I want them to want to come to school.
I want them to want to be with their friends.
I can relate really easy to students, and I think that's because my childhood wasn't the easiest, and so I know where they're coming from.
So my biggest hope and wishes for my students are to know just how wonderful they are, that there is not a bad bone in their body, and that they are just tiny little humans who are going to grow up to make so many wonderful changes in this world. Also to know that they are just full of possibilities and they just have the coolest role in the world to just go out and change it and to make it better, and that they will do that.
You can make me cry. My biggest hope for my kiddos is that they can go out and be that human being that they can be proud of. They have to learn to love themselves and that nothing is impossible.
I want them to decide what they're passionate about, what they're curious about, and to be able to move forward towards that curiosity in a safe way with the skills to do so.
My biggest hope for my students is that they will be able to develop the skills to be able to pursue their dreams and move forward and navigate life successfully.
I mean, obviously, your biggest wish is that they're happy and they're loved and they're safe. I want them to be able to advocate for themselves and to be assertive when they need to be assertive and just to be good people. Like, I want my kids to be good people.
I can say anything to someone about why social emotional learning is important, I would say it's the frosting. It's like, what's a cupcake without frosting? It makes learning easier. It makes making friends easier. It makes, just engaging in this really tricky world that we live in easier. At the end of the day, if you have SEL and that's the frosting, then man, that's cupcake I want to eat.
These incredible champions leave me feeling inspired, energized, hopeful, and proud. As we close out this year's Second Step Educator of the Year Award Showcase, I'd like to congratulate our winners once again and thank all the SEL advocates for their nominations. Committee for Children is so incredibly grateful for you, the thousands of champions around the world dedicated to empowering students with skills for life. Thanks, everyone.